Hey guys, I heard Argos is coming out, so I have quickly discussed with my veteran buddies to figure out what I can do to help my folks on this news. This video will cover my thoughts on what is needed to prepare for Argos Raid. I will also make an Argos guide in the future when it's closer to release. Let's go over the basics first. Argos is an Abyss 8-man raid. Item level requirement is 1370 at Phase 1, 1385 Phase 2, and 1400 Phase 3. Minimum requirement to enter the raid is 1370. You can challenge Phase 2, but it will be impossible to clear it because your damage will be blocked. Systematically, if you want to deal damage to Argos till Phase 3, you need to be item level 1400. If you beat Argos on Phase 1 and end the dungeon, you get Phase 1 rewards for the week. In order for you to be 1370, you need full plus 15 blue gears. Blue or purple gears is the only option for the Korean server. You get legendary ones only after Argos. NA server is a little different though. Abyss dungeons like Aura Pravasa gives legendary gears, so people may have higher gear score before Argos. My suggestion for everyone is take it slow and not panic, unless you're really high gear score already and spec'd up with a group. I will go over recommended specs for them at the later point of the video as well. Argos' rewards in the Korean server before the nerf are as follows. You can notice Argos drops molars, claws, blood, and veins, and etc. It also gives accessories and ability stones as well. Except Phase 3 that will provide legendary gear for auction. But if you clear Phase 1 for the first time, it will give an Argos clear box with additional materials. The differences may be huge on some people, but it is not as big as you think. The spec requirement to successfully defeat Phase 2 and 3 is really high compared to 1, so I do not think it justifies to do a hard push. I will not push my item level to set unrealistic goals, like pushing your blue gears further than plus 15. It's a huge money waste. Since NAEU servers also have alternatives obtaining legendary gear from the Abyss dungeon, you have an easier time to increase your item level due to more legendary gears you have, because the upgrade drops to 6 if you transfer it. Ultimately, your final goal is to have full legendary gear. If you have all of your legendary gear at plus 15, your item level will be 1415. And the recommended set bonuses are chosen and preordained. Chosen tend to be the cheaper side, so people creates 4 chosen and 2 preordained gears, which it requires 30 molar for the weapon and 80 claws and 16 bloods for the armor. So unless you already have enough legendary gear to have an item level around 1415, I personally recommend just running Phase 1 for the first week, which will get you one piece of Argos legendary gear to help you progress further into the game. Since most will be buying an extra reward chest as well, I don't think you'll be that far behind compared to the people who are clearing Phase 3 from the first week. The minimum requirement I personally recommend is 1370 with at least 2 level 3 engravings, one being grudge or damage engraving followed by a class engraving. Decent tripod level increase is really important as well. Level them up on a major DPS skill if you can. If all 8 people in your party have around this much, with a bit of cooperation and proper guides, there won't be too much of an issue clearing this first phase. By the way, as for tripods, do not buy them from the auction house, it's a huge waste right now. Try to get as many as you can through chaos dungeons and utilize your library efficiently. Having at least level 2 or 3 tripod is way better than 1 on all of your skills. As for engravings, here are some of the examples on some of the classes. Berserkers can have something like Master's Tenacity 3 and Mayhem 3. Sorks can have something like Grudge 3, All Out Attack 3, and Reflux 1, or All Out Attack 3 and Reflux 3, or Ignition 3. Gunlancer could have Grudge 3, Barricade 3, and Combat Readiness 1, or Grudge 3 and Loneknight 3. Deathblaze can have SuperCharge 3 and Remaining Energy 3, or Grudge 3 and Surge 3. Usually level 3 class engraving Grudge 3 is the way to go, but if you're worried about Grudge penalty, take a damage engraving that works for you, something like Master of Strikes or Barricade. Also, you must have a support for each party. Their engravings will be something like Bard as Heavy Armor 3 and Class Engraving 3. Paladin would be Expert 3 and Class Engraving 3. Both classes can add Awakening for their 3rd engravement. For players who are much stronger and who are planning to beat all of the phases in the first week, I personally think item level 1400, 3 level 3 engravings, 1 being Grudge, some tripods, more the better, and level 4 jewels on at least major DPS skills. Supporters can still bring the same engraving. Note that this is bare minimum, so it will take tons of battle items and resources and a lot of wipes if you challenge Argos with bare minimum spec cuts. For example, I forgot the experience because it's been so long, so I wanted to test it out and level my Reaper to 1370. At Argos Phase 1, even without the grudge engraving, one hit of Argos' gimmick pattern killed me from almost full HP. Just for comparison, classes like Gunslinger and Deadeye have the same vitality factor as Reaper at 1.6. Deathblades have it at 1.98, Most warriors and martial artists have it ranged from 2.2 to 2.5, and Gunlancer and Heavy Armor Engraving 3 Bard is at 3. I wanted to make sure people know that Argos is not an easy raid. Feel free to take a longer time and prepare your characters with the given legendary gears from Abyss dungeons. Missing a week or two isn't going to hurt you drastically. I have shared the information on minimal spec cuts Korean server utilized to give you guys a point to work with. I think this covers the quick video. Feel free to visit my stream and ask any of the other classes minimum builds. As always, thanks guys, and good luck. Bye.